Hi, this is Pam, Flower Patch Farmhouse, and this is this is March 20th. It's already spring, and I am out in the greenhouse again, finally. We had, after a week of beautiful weather, or almost a month of beautiful weather, we had 2 feet of snow, and it's just now, you can probably hear it dripping from the trees and what have you. So I haven't felt like getting out here. Plus I was sick and I didn't want to be in the cold. So I focused on doing painting tutorials. If you want to know anything about that, go to pamelagropey.com. I just finished a real pretty spring bicycle with pansies in the basket. So if you want to learn how to paint, hop on over there. So I said I would do some more seed starting, and I would do a comparison between seed starting mix and my potting mix mixed with perlite. A lot of people seem to think you have to start with seed starting mix to get seed started for winter sowing or other type of sowing. I've had no issue using my potting soil mixed with perlite. So I just thought I would do a test and see if one really did work better than the other. Anyway, so I have some of my containers. Now I do prefer using, for a lot of things, not everything, these salad mix containers. They have a lid usually, and I'll show you some. I'll reach over here. Some I did. Here is some delphiniums, and they're actually, I've got some blooms coming up, but sprouts coming up. And this was an old packet of seeds, so I was worried none would come up, and so far it's done great. So that's done over there, and I did some more right before it snowed and got cold. It gets warm in here during the day when the sun is out. And today, like right now, it's, 58 in here, and the sun's starting to go down. But as we progress further into spring, closer to summer, it will get much warmer in here, and I won't have to put any of these seeds in the house. I do have an indoor seed starting rack with lights and everything, but the last couple of years I just really haven't used it. I've just started a little bit later out here in the greenhouse, and they've done great, so I haven't had to do it indoors. So I said I was going to do a comparison between 3 seed starting mixes and my regular mix that I use of potting soil mixed with some perlite to loosen it up. And if you want to compare the prices, it's just much less expensive to use your potting soil mixed with a little bit of perlite than it is to buy specialty seed starting mix. I was going to do my Camp Joy cherry tomatoes. Now they're actually not cherry size, they're a little bit bigger. I would say closer to maybe, between like a ping pong ball. It was a good size to compare it to. And this is by Renee's Gardens. And I don't mind planting a bunch of them. When they sprout and grow, I'll only keep maybe 2 of them for my personal use, and I'll give away the rest. My friends absolutely love this, so they're going to be even better friends. And this is an example, this variety, of why you would want to grow from seeds. I cannot find this at any garden center, and I've tried it and absolutely loved it. Even my friends who swear by Sun Gold as being the best cherry tomato, they've actually switched to this one as far as their favorite. So I'm going to today use these containers. I don't usually use these containers. I usually like planting my seeds in one container, and like the one I showed you, the salad container, and then pricking them out and potting them on. I have found that they grow stronger and better when I do it that way. But because I want to use all the different seed starting mixes and my potting soil, I didn't want to plant a whole big thing and for a couple of seeds. So if I do the 6-packs, we'll be doing good. I will end up with 24 of these plants if they all germinate well. So the trick will be marking them and keeping them marked with the different names so I know which ones are which. So I'm going to point my camera down, and then we'll get to potting up. And I'll do a couple, and then I'll speed it up because you're not going to want to watch me plant all 24 of these. I guess I could just plant like 3 cells. I could do that. 3 cells of the tomatoes and 3 cells. I'm going to start over. I'm going to plant in 1/2 of each 6-pack the Camp Joy cherry tomatoes, and in the other half I'm going to plant these Castelluto Genovese. These are a heirloom tomato. They make the best sauce. They're kind of wonky looking because they're all ripply and what have you, but these are also from Renee's Garden Seeds, but they do. It's a supreme sauce. Great for marinara. I make my roasted, oven roasted marinara sauce with these, and the taste is incomparable. That is why I'm going to grow them. So half of a 6-pack is going to be the Castelluto Genovese, and the other is going to be the Camp Joy. So I'm going to point my camera down, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to put my gloves on because I have been washing my hands so much lately that they're dry, and getting them in the soil doesn't feel that great. So here is my first 6-pack, and I'm going to fill it with, this is the Jiffy Natural and Organic Seed Starting Mix. Actually, another seed company had used this one for a test. They did a test of different seed starting mixes in potting soil, and they said this one actually did better than the other pricier ones. I picked this up at Walmart, and I have used it before, and it's done great. It's very powdery, so it takes a bit to get it moistened. The way I do it, and I'll show you when I'm done getting these all filled, is I just fill one of these containers with water and let it soak it up after I have planted. It works great. And then you can leave it like I would leave it overnight. I have a tub like this, except larger, of water on a heat mat on the other bench, and that's what I'm going to put this in and let it soak up the water. If it does, it'll moisten all the way, but if it didn't, I would just spray down the top and be good with it. But I never had any issue with it really getting moist. And then I can also put a lid on top to keep moisture in if I so desire. So there I have one seed. This is the Camp Joy. I could put 2 seeds in there. And just press it down gently and put a little soil over it. Now this one is the Jiffy, so I'm going to have to get some markers for sure. I use the ones that come with them, and then I'll just mark that this is the Jiffy side, my marker, and I will just put a big J on this, J, and then I'll put Camp Joy on it, and then that will go on that side. So then I'll do the Castelluto Genovese on the other side. Get my package open. One, two, and three. I'm not going to worry about if one doesn't germinate. I'm not going to put like 2 in every one of them, because between the 4 6-pack packages, I am going to have plenty. So there is that one. All I did was press it down in the soil, covered it a little bit, and that was it. Let's see. It says 7 to 10 days to germinate, transplant, to harvest is 75 days, 6 to 7 feet is the height. And it says transplant in full sun April through June. So it says to plant indoors 6 to 8 weeks before outdoor nighttime temperatures. Well, ours take a little while to heat up, but my beds that I'm going to put this in, I'm going to cover them with fleece and get them preheated. So provide a strong light source. That's why I keep them in the greenhouse rather than under a light. Now, if it stays really cold, I will bring these in the house to finish germinating, because even the heat mat might not be enough. Now the other seed starting mixes I am going to try out. This one is Gardener and Bloom Simples seed starting mix. It does not say anywhere that it is organic. I do try to prefer to go organic at all possible, because if I have to throw that into the garden beds out there, then I know I'm just improving the soil. And with the non-organic. Now this one just says peat, moss, perlite, pumice, washed sand. So I don't see anything in there. And then the third one, which I don't normally go with anything with Miracle-Gro in it, but I thought for comparison's sake, for people that's what available to you, I would do that one. And we'll see if any of them do any better than others. So this part right here, I'm going to fill each of these with the different seed starting mixes and my potting soil mix, which I have right here. I have extra perlite in it. I'm going to speed this up because it's going to get pretty boring unless I do. So I'm just going to get started, and you can watch at high speed. This one. Before I speed this up, I will note that this one seems a bit grittier for what that's worth. So, get it all in there. And this is the Gardeners and Bloom. Okay, so this is mine. I'll put mine, and then Camp Joy is on right. And I'll put that over to get soaked too, even though it's pretty moist still. But all of them will get their treatment, their sauna in the bath. Okay, so let's take a look at how they are over in the bath. So here they are floating. This one's still floating. This one's absorbed the water pretty quick. That was the Gardeners and Bloom. And mine's not floating because it was pretty soaked. And then the Miracle-Gro one soaked up pretty good. This is the Jiffy, and it's taken a little while, but I know that's the nature of that one. And you can see the difference in the colors. You can see a lot of perlite and grit in this one. And then the Miracle-Gro one is pretty close to the Jiffy one, but the Miracle-Gro does have some Miracle-Gro fertilizer in it, and that's one of the things that it has that the others do not. So this should be interesting. I will give it a week. Next week is supposed to heat back up after this week of more snow and get into the 60s during the day, which it gets to 80 degrees inside my greenhouse. And now that the sun is higher in the sky, also this greenhouse gets more sun than it does closer to winter. And that's it for Flower Patch today. I hope to see you in the next video.